Welcome to HailState.com. I'm Bob Carskadon. This one probably doesn't need a whole lot of introduction if I had to guess. Yeah, this one. Matt Wyatt, former Mississippi State quarterback out here, is taking a little practice between all the radios and everything that keeps you busy throughout the day. I did want to ask you, as a former quarterback, do you prefer to go by quarterback or former quarterback? Does it matter to you?
Former.
Former?
Yeah, I was pretty close to former even when I was playing. Yeah, I was on my way out the whole time. So yeah, former's fine. Old guy, bald, fat, whatever. But it's great to get to come watch a little practice finally. See something as opposed to just talking about it all the time.
There you go. Well, old former quarterback Matt Wyatt. I'll ask you about the quarterbacks. Obviously, you being one yourself, or having been one formerly, I guess, as we decided. Tyler Russell, Dak Prescott. I haven't seen a little bit of him. I guess Dak's not out here this morning. But Tyler Russell, obviously, the starter. Getting to see him a little bit. Early impressions, I know there's no pads, and so it's tough to check a lot. But
well, in a practice like this with no pads, you can see conditioning, and that's important for a quarterback. You have to be in good enough shape where, when everybody else is tired, you're not. And Tyler's in really good shape, really good condition. He's bouncing around. I've noticed that. He kind of has an energy about him. He understands, obviously, that everybody's going to feed off of him or look to him in that regard, and throwing the ball well. And then Damian Williams, who's out here with the newcomers in this morning practice, really throws the ball well. You can tell that he's been, well coached in high school, good footwork, understands the pass tree and what they're doing in Pascal. You can tell he's played a lot of 7-on-7 football because he knows where to throw the ball. It's so much different now than it was 15, 20 years ago. You'd come in as a freshman and, like me, all you did in high school was hand the ball off and run the play action stuff every now and then. And so he's a solid 3 on the depth chart, and you like the way he's throwing the ball, and we'll have to see how it goes when the pads come on.
See, this is why we ask guys like Matt questions. You can get good answers. One thing,
Long answers,
yes. Less talking I do, more you do. I think better. One thing Matt and I were talking about was some of the NFL prospects, some of the guys on the field now, and Tyler Russell is a guy we talked a little bit about.
Yeah.
I would think, it needs to have a good senior season. Obviously, had a good junior one as well. But do you see that kind of progression for him going forward?
Well, I think so. Yeah, and it's probably far from his mind at this point. Yes, but we can talk about it.
Yeah.
And he definitely has the body. He definitely has the mental capacity and the arm strength. He's not a burner with his feet, but he moves well. And so I think for him to have the kind of year that's going to improve maybe his draft status as opposed to the alternative is he's got to be on a team that runs the ball successfully. You look at those games a year ago when he played so well, he threw a lot of passes, a lot of touchdowns without throwing interceptions. And those scouts remember that. But in those better games against better teams, Mississippi State just struggled to run the ball. And that really affects a quarterback who's not a runner. And so I think that's important for his success this year is consistently against everybody we play. If this team is able to run the ball a little better than we did a year ago, then he is going to have a good year. And, his best attribute so far that you've seen in his career is the ability to make plays, take some risks without turning the ball over.
Yeah.
And at the end of the last year was kind of the anomaly to all that because he hadn't been doing those things. And so he's got an opportunity. I'm really pulling for him. It would be good for the program.
Absolutely.
If they can put a quarterback in the league.
Well, he calls himself old and balding. I won't say like a fine wine, but maybe like an aged cheese.
Yeah, better with
the
time.
age. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm certainly wiser. I do know that. Yeah.
Well, again, Matt Wyatt, appreciate you hanging out and talking to us.
Thanks.